Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. Cory here with you, and in today's video, we are going to be doing a 4K Blu-ray review of the 2021 film, Marvel Studios' Black Widow. Lawsuits be damned, we're going after it, ladies and gentlemen. So I was excited to pick this up, compare it to the Disney Plus stream. Packaging wise, it has a pretty cool slipcover. It's hard to tell on the video, but it's nice and embossed on here. It's the same as what's inside, except it looks a little bit cooler on the slipcover. So when you pop her open, you are going to get the Blu-ray disc here, 4K. You got your slip for your digital code, and then you've got your standard Blu-ray as well. So pretty standard fare from Disney and Marvel on this one. Nothing out of the ordinary except for the pretty cool slipcover. So tech specs on this movie, we're looking at an HDR10 presentation, which is going to be different from Disney Plus. Disney Plus shows the film in Dolby Vision. So we'll get into the comparison on that in a few moments. It has a Dolby Atmos soundtrack both on Disney Plus and on the 4K disc, which is pretty cool. It's in a 239:1 aspect ratio, which again, standard fare for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie was filmed for IMAX. There is a copy of this film that exists at a 1.9:1 aspect ratio. However, we did not get that on the Disney Plus stream. We did not get that on the 4K Blu-ray. That is apparently only for folks that went to go see this in IMAX. They did the same thing with Shang-Chi, same thing with Avengers Endgame. Kind of seems like they're standard fare at this point. So interesting to see the deal with that. I believe this is a 2K digital intermediate that is upscaled to 4K, which again is the huge for Marvel. They do so many visual effects shots in all of their films that I guess it doesn't 100% make sense for them to have 4K DIs. I think the only one they really have released is Black Panther on 4K Blu-ray. So pretty interesting stuff tech spec wise. Diving right in, this is not a review of the movie. We are only going to be covering the video and audio quality of this disc. So let's start with video. This picture is razor sharp, like supremely sharp, which should be expected. It is a 2021 film. It uses all modern, cameras, techniques, lighting, all that good stuff. So it looks fantastic. I can't fault it too much on the sharpness. It is undoubtedly a 4K release. Very happy to see a little bit sharper than the Disney Plus stream, just because the bit rate is probably going to be anywhere from 3 to 4 times higher on the physical disc, which is why I always recommend picking up physical media if you can. You are going to get the full resolution and the closest experience you can get to a theatrical run on one of these films. Again, comparing it to Disney Plus, I watched both side by side. Even though it's Dolby Vision on Disney Plus and only HDR10 on the disc blew it away. Not just the sharpness, but also artifacts in the background, digital noise and banding. You see way less of it on the disc, particularly in all of the low light scenes. So there's a fight where Black Widow takes on Taskmaster on a bridge at night. It's only lit by streetlights. You can really see the difference. The opening of the film, where the family is escaping from Ohio and running away from S.H.I.E.L.D., you can really see the difference. The Dolby Vision stream on Disney Plus, it looks like the blacks are pushed up a little bit and the shadows are almost too revealing. I think there were more natural black levels on the disc. That could be a difference between the HDR and the Dolby Vision, but I preferred the way it looked on the disc for sure, as is usually the case. Not a whole heck of a lot to say. It wasn't overly bright. There were some shots with some cool looking highlights. Colors really pop. Anything, when they're in the actual red room itself, the red is very vibrant. Natasha's hair really pops off the screen. Red Guardian's outfit. Taskmaster's costume has a ton of great detail across it. especially the little neck piece that she's got. Really, really great. You can see everything, detail on everyone's face. David Harbour, when he's got the beard later on in the film, is the Red Guardian. You can see every individual hair on there, which is really cool. So for video, I think I'm going to give this one like a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's as clean as a whistle. It's probably the best way you're going to be able to see this movie outside of heading out to the cinema and seeing it in a large format. So video is solid. It's a par for the course with these Marvel discs. Video always looks pretty good on them. They have a standard look that they follow, which, if you're on Twitter, there's a lot of argument about whether or not they should be that way, but they are. And we get to have a consistent look on all the discs because of that. So getting into audio with Dolby Atmos mix here, sort of. It's a Disney mix, and Disney does not tend to lean to the Atmos stuff too much. A lot of people call it Atmouse. Anytime there's a Disney mix, you will have to crank your volume up a little bit when you're watching this disc compared to, say, something from Warner Brothers or Universal. Normally, casual listening, I have my receiver at minus 20 decibels. When I watch a 4K Blu-ray from most studios, I usually turn it up to about minus 16, and my room is shaken. To get a real cinematic theatrical feel from this disc, I had to crank it up to minus 10. Once I got there, though, it sounded really good. My Paradigm speakers were bumping, subwoofers were hitting. Somewhat hard in the beginning, and then they got better at certain parts of the film. So anytime the Taskmaster shows up, it was like they decided to crank up the LFE and give you some more bass. So every time that character walks, big boom from the bass. Anytime there's any action sequences that fall into slow motion with Taskmaster, you get another big hit of bass, which is pretty cool. I thought that the movie, it takes the Jason Bourne and John Wick idea, where every slash of a knife, every punch, every kick, every gunshot is meant to like just hit you as the viewer, and they really did that with this film. This is a more grounded Marvel movie until the third act, when it goes completely nuts with the CGI, and you really feel all those hits, which is really cool. I really appreciated that. Not a ton of height stuff. I actually my height speakers are about 8.5 feet from the floor behind my television, so they're right above my front soundstage. I got up on a step ladder when I was watching this one just to see if there was any sound coming out of the height speakers at all. And during the car chase sequence where Natasha and Yelena steal the BMW, there was literally nothing coming out of them at all. Didn't really get a lot of good height stuff until the prison break sequence with the Red Guardian. At that point, you got some chopper blades, some cable effects, and then some, the avalanche. There was some stuff coming down from the avalanche and everything. But other than that, the Disney stuff tends to be very left, center, right heavy. When it comes to the front soundstage, they don't have a lot of that height stuff going on. I don't know if it's a choice that they make, or if it's just that they throw a couple effects in there so that they can label it as Dolby Atmos and then focus on the rest. That being said, the front soundstage sounded phenomenal. Anytime, like I said, punch, kicks, gunshots sounded great. Glass breaking, plates breaking, the scopes from the Widow's rifles, all those high-pitched sounds came through really clear and had a lot of really great refined sound, which I really appreciated. It was really awesome. Dialogue was also fantastic. It never got buried underneath the soundtrack, which that is something that with some streams, particularly like HBO Max streams, you have to deal with that, and you're kind of adjusting your volume throughout the film based on what's going on around you. Nobody likes doing that. You want to be able to just hit play, throw the remotes on the couch or chair or whatever you're sitting in, and then just enjoy the film. So pretty cool that dialogue came in clearly there. I thought the soundtrack was much more full on the disc than it was on Disney Plus. Again, not quite as big of a difference as, say, HBO Max. I reviewed Zack Snyder's Justice League last week, and that was like literal night and day. the Disney Plus mix was much closer to the disc than the HBO Max one was for Justice League. So good on Disney for that. They probably have a little bit higher bit rate on their streaming than HBO pays for. Who knows? I don't really know the logistics on that. Final battle in this has, I don't like it in the film because it really goes kind of off the rails compared to the first 2/3 that are more of a grounded spy film. That being said, when it goes into crazy ballistic MCU action sequence mode, the audio follows it. There's a ton of surround activity going on. Things are zipping by your head. Things are exploding in front of you, behind you, above you. Subwoofers are going off. It's just a cacophony of sound, and it really does a nice job immersing you in everything that's going on there. And then in the final couple minutes where Taskmaster and Black Widow were fighting, I did notice there was one really cool effect where Taskmaster's sword panned across the screen, and as that happened, it created a really nice panning effect from the right channel to the center channel to the left channel of the front soundstage. Very immersive, very cool. Can't really fault it for too much. I think this is a good soundtrack. It's got a lot of clarity. It's got a very refined sound. I would have appreciated a little bit more bass in scenes that didn't involve the Taskmaster, but beggars can't be choosers on that. And again, this still sounds awesome. I'm going to give this one an 8.8 out of 10 for the audio. It was really rocking once we got it up to a volume level that made sense. So should you pick up this Blu-ray? Maybe. If you're a Marvel fan, it's absolutely worth picking up. If you're a completionist like me and you've got all the other Marvel films, you'll start scratching your neck if you don't have it, because something just won't feel quite right. And if you're looking for the optimal way to view this outside of a theater, this is absolutely the best way to do it, and it's worth the money. And hey, you never know, your dollars might end up being allocated to somebody post lawsuit. So who knows? We'll see what happens with that. But either way, if you buy it, you're supporting physical media. You're letting the studios know that you embrace this format, you enjoy viewing these films in the absolute best quality possible, and you encourage them to keep making it. So that's going to do it for this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Would love to hear from you. Drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Do you like Black Widow? Did you watch it on Disney Plus? Did you see it in the theater? Are you going to buy it on the 4K disc? What'd you have for lunch today? I don't know. Leave me a comment and let me know. I will respond to every single comment that comes through. If you leave me two, I'll respond to both of them. If you want to support the channel, all you got to do, like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, share the video with your friends. We are going to have a Marvel What If review a little bit later today, after we get a chance to record it, probably on our lunch breaks. Nick is watching C on Apple TV Plus. We'll be talking about that. We're going to have some Ted Lasso stuff next week. And then after that, Foundation premieres on Apple TV Plus, which we're all very excited about. Midnight Mass hits on Netflix, which is Mike Flanagan's new horror series. So there's an absolute ton of stuff for us to check out. We're going to be reviewing a ton of things moving forward. So please make sure to stay tuned for all those things. Until next time, see you in the next video.